Hey guys, Crypto Dad here. Today I'm going to show you how to manage your third-party signing keys in Debian. Okay, so we've got Debian installed. We have an internal solid-state hard drive that's using full disk encryption. We have a small flash drive that we're using as our boot drive. And then after we got all this installed, we created a key file. And we moved that into the external flash drive, and that is how we're booting the machine now. We added it to the key ring, and then we went back to the key ring and removed the passphrase option. So now there is no way to access the internal solid-state drive to unlock the decryption unless we use this 4096 character key file that we created. And it resides on this external flash drive. So when you leave the house, you can take it with you. It can easily be lost or destroyed if your system becomes compromised. So it's a super secure way to protect your computer and the contents thereof. Okay, and then in the next or the previous video, I explained to you how to set up VPN in Debian. We used private internet access. I like private internet access because it's a good way to get started with an anonymous VPN, which you can pay with a gift card, which is something you can buy with cash, so that there's no record of your credit card number or your PayPal account or anything in their accounting system or their logs. And that gives us some reasonable privacy to proceed forward to create our safe private system. Okay? Okay, so software verification. We talked about it last time in Windows, if you watched some of my previous videos. And in Windows, it was a little bit tricky. You had to download the GNU PG software, which was the GPG for Windows. And then you had to download the installer file for any software that you were interested in, along with the signature file. And then you had to go find the signing key from the developers and get that installed in your system in the key ring and go through the verification process. Well, let me tell you, it's a lot easier in Debian. The first thing about Debian is that the GNU PG software is installed by default. And another nice thing about Debian 9 is that it comes standard with version 2.1.18 of the GNU PG software, which is great news for all of you Debian 9 users and all of you GNU PG users. Also in Debian, if you're downloading software through the Apt repository, which is the preferred method for downloading and installing software in Debian, there's a built-in mechanism for verifying the software downloads with a signing key. And so it's much easier and it's much more built-in, it's much more robust in Debian 9. So, third-party software. When we go to download third-party software, one of the first things you'll find is that they're suggesting, they know you need their signing key to verify if you're going to do things a Debian way. But their suggestion for the way it runs is a little haphazard. So I'm going to start with Sublime Text, which is an excellent program. I own it. I love it. It's one of the best text, almost the best text editor out there for coding and down and dirty text editing. So I highly recommend it. They also have a very flexible license. You're allowed to install it on as many of the machines you own as you want, on as many operating systems as you want. I love that flexibility. All right. So, but let's look at what they suggest for us to do. Their first command is, hey, you're going to need to install their signing key if you want to get this thing to download properly from a Debian repository. So here's the signing key, and then they pipe it into this Apt-Key Add command, which we don't want to do. We don't want to throw in all of our third-party signing keys in with our Debian repository keys on the trusted key ring. We got a special place we can put these signing keys, so I'm going to show you how to do that. So the first thing we need to do is go ahead and get this guy. Let's open up our terminal window. Alright, and I'm going to use this command almost as is. I'm going to get rid of this Q, and I'm going to give it a file name. We're going to add the ASC extension. This sort of insulates the file so that it maintains its integrity. So as you can see, the name of the file that I downloaded now is this file. Let's check it out. Okay, there it is. Okay, and now that we have the file, I'm gonna want to move it over to the special folder that I told you about. This special folder is on other locations. You can go to Computer. It's in the USR folder in Share, and it's in the Keyrings folder. Keyrings. There we go. So you see there's a couple of keys in there already. So we need to become the super user in order to do this. Alright, so we're going to do a move command. We're going to move this file. And we're going to move it into that folder there, USR share keyrings. Okay, and as you can see, it appeared over here. Okay, now we're going to need to de-armor that. Okay, so first we need to get into the subdirectory. Okay, and there's the key we're looking for. Okay, we're going to use the de-armor command, the GPG de-armor command. Okay, and we're going to use it on this file. As we open the pointy brackets, Shift Control V, close the pointy brackets, and I'm going to Shift Control V again, just to erase that extension. So basically we're using the de-armor command, and we're going to create a new file that's nice and clean and recognized as a GPG key. And there you see it, it appeared over there. The reason we do this is because sometimes the system will treat the file as a text file or not know how to treat it, and it's generic or it's a text file, so Debian doesn't recognize it as a signing key, which is why we go through this whole de-armor process. Now I'm just going to get rid of that file. I don't need it anymore. Okay, so there's my key right there, my signing key, in the keyrings folder, right where it belongs. Okay, now we go to the next step, which is to create a sub-repository for Sublime Text. And the wonderful people at Sublime Text have given me this command, which creates the file and populates it with the telling it where the deb package is. It's a nice little quick and dirty echo command. I'm going to open that file up for you and show you on my computer, etc apt, and the sources.list.d, which is a subdirectory in that folder. So we enter, and there we go. We've got this file created, and you'll notice here that the file has already got this one line in it, which tells it where to download the repository, the deb package from. Okay, so I'm going to close this stuff out. Now we've got our key file, we've got our repository. What more could we ask for, right? Let's do a apt update. Well, there was a small problem. The file, it knows where to get the file. There's a key here. It just doesn't know where it is. That's the only little thing that we have to deal with. So what I'm going to do is add a little qualifier to this command. Over here right after deb. Let me close all these text files. Okay, so we're going to add a bracket and choose signed dash by equals and the name of the file. I'll just cut and paste it so I don't run into any trouble. Okay, there it is, and then we need to close the bracket there. So now we have a signed by qualifier. And just take that out there. Looks like our command is good now. Let's close all our text files, and we'll go ahead and run this command. Let's look over here at this list, and now we've got, I know it's a little hard for you guys to see, but that qualifier is now there in front of the repository location. So now it knows where to download the file from, and it knows where to find the signing key. So we should be good to go, gang. Let's see what happens when we run apt update again. Lo and behold, it downloaded the file from Sublime Text, and it found the signing key and verified it all under the surface. Okay, so now we can do this wonderful step. This is the one we've been waiting for, right? Okay, we've just installed third-party software the Debian way, right? And this is the clean, best way to install software in Debian. We can go over here to activities. Actually, I already had it on there. But there it is, the Sublime Text window. And that's a wonderful thing to behold. Okay, guys, so that's the long and short of it. I'm going to go through this when I download any third-party software from here on out. I won't go into such a long explanation about it. I'll refer you back to this video. But there's one little caveat that I want to bring up here before I sign off. Let's go back here. If we look at Sublime Text, they tell us to download this key, right? Let's do it one more time. And this time I'll just download it here. Okay, so here we've got this key right here. Shoot, it's in root. Dang it. Okay. What I'm trying to say here is that let's exit this. Let's try this one more time just so I can show you what I'm talking about, so you won't think I'm just a crazy guy ranting. Alright. Okay, there we go. Now I can open this thing up in GPG and take a look at it. I actually imported it before, so but there's the fingerprint, but there's one small problem. I poked around all over the Sublime Text website and could not find the developer fingerprint. So there was no way that I was able to independently verify that this is in fact their signing key. Now, just seeing their fingerprint on their website is not foolproof, but it's pretty good. I mean, we want to make sure that the fingerprints match. Okay, and the only other way to know for sure that this is a signing key is to see if other people have signed it with a circle of trust, or meet someone at a signing party, or just go up to the offices of Sublime Text, knock on their door and say, can you please tell me what your fingerprint is so that I can independently verify it when I download your signing key. So that's one little caveat. You'll see when we download VirtualBox that they provide their fingerprint. If you'll notice here, Oracle VirtualBox, we go over here to Linux, you'll see that these guys say, hey, we want you to download our signing key, and here's our fingerprint. So that adds another layer of verification to this whole process. It's not perfect, but it's a little better than no fingerprint at all. So anyway, I just wanted to point that out because getting a signing key is great, but your signing key adds trust to your download, and if you can't trust your signing key, then you can't really trust the download either. So we want to be practice rigorous computing. Anyway, I'm sorry I went on too long about that. I meant to point that out midway through the video, but I wanted to just get that in at the end so that you guys would be able to wrap your head around all of this. So that's how you manage your third-party signing keys. I'm glad you joined me for this video. I hope I didn't bore you to death, and I hope to see you again. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up, or down the road you might want to subscribe, and you'll get an alert the next time I post a video. Thanks again.